Hi everyone. My name is Vivek Pandey and I work as a data engineer and I am very enthusiastic about data, cloud and AI field. So let's talk about this project which I'm sharing you on the screen. So in here I have built an end-to-end banking analytics solution in Microsoft Fabric. The goal is to take the raw banking data in multiple formats: CSV, TSV, or text files, then load it into a lakehouse, organize it using bronze, silver, gold, which is the medallion architecture, build a semantic model, which is then uh, used by the Power BI report, and then finally adding the churn modeling notebook. So a Fabric Lakehouse combines data lake storage with a warehouse style querying. So it is a good fit when we want to store raw files, create delta tables, and analyze the same data using both Spark and SQL. So there might be a question for you. Why I am using Microsoft Fabric? So I chose Microsoft Fabric because it lets me do the full workflow in just one platform, storing data in Lakehouse, transforming it in, like with notebooks, exposing it through SQL views, procedures, or query, then building the semantic model, which is then after which we create the Power BI report, and then orchestrating using like everything with pipelines where we can get like why it failed or was it successful. We can get the emails as well. So this project demonstrate both data engineering and analytics. So before we go deep dive into the project, so I'll just run this because it might take a bit long. I'll run my pipeline and then I'll show you the further steps. So the first step is to create a workspace and then create a lake house inside the workspace. So workspace acts as a container, and then lake house is the data storage, or we can do processing as well inside the workspace. So I'll show you, this is my workspace. If you want to create a new one, you can go over here and so now how to add like new items. You can go over here and the items are like, suppose you want, so it depends differently for specific projects, how you want to insert data, what things you want like SQL Server, or you want to do Python queries, so you can use notebooks, or what do you want for data storage. So I'm using Lakehouse. So let me tell you, like before we start this project. So as it's about bank operations, so it's very hard to get real data due to privacy and security. So what I did, I created synthetic data, and now taking everything as realistic, I have my raw data in mixed formats, which is CSV, text files, and TSV, and as in organization. So data often does not arrive in a clean format. And so I can show you inside my lake house. I created, yeah, so I created like two folders. One is inbound and the other one is archive under the files area. So inbound is for the upcoming files and archive stores processed files. So in case the pipeline fails, it won't move to the archive. So at least we get to know like it failed. And in case you think from where we are getting these files, or like, so over here I'm doing it manually now, but in an organization it arrives through an upstream ingestion step, or cloud storage, or you can say SFTP. So these are all the files which I have loaded Okay, so you can click over here and you can upload it. Okay, now I'll show you. So this is the SQL analytics. We'll go over there, but before that, I'll show you my bronze notebook. That's how I loaded the data. So I did not load the data directly into the tables first because the file area is better for raw ingestion. Right now, the logic is like from raw files. I mean, my raw files are landing into the file area, then using notebook, reading those files, and then creating a structured like delta tables. And this keeps raw input separate from process tables. So in this way over here, the screen which I've shared. So let's come to the bronze notebook. So this job is to read the raw files from Lakehouse files area. It is handling different delimiters. It could be comma, it could be a tab separated, it could be pipe delimited. So then cleaning invalid column names and then saving the result as bronze table. So I could have loaded the data directly to gold as well, but I don't think it has a good design. Bronze helps to preserve the source level data and gives us a stable ingestion layer. So we could have used data flow, but that is another thing. But in order to handle like mixed file format, I just wanted to show you that I'm doing the ingestion for different file formats. So there are custom path logic, Spark transformations. So I felt Notebook would be a better fit than Dataflow. Now I'll show you. So over here, we have the bronze table. We have already ingested from the raw files. Now we'll go to the silver layer. Yeah. So after bronze, I created the silver notebook. The silver layer is the clean and standardized layer where I fixed like data types, converted text dates to actual dates, casting numeric columns, removing the duplicates. So bronze is the raw structured layer, while silver is the most trusted and clean layer. So silver exists so I don't have to do the cleaning repeatedly, because if that layer is skipped, then for every model, for every report, we have to do it again and again. So now here you can see uh, what I'm doing, cleaning the columns and casting for the data types. Yeah. And then we loading it to the silver layer. Now let's go to the gold layer. So initially I tried with notebooks, but I wanted to try something different. So over here I'll show you my notebook as well, but finally I chose the view, creating views. Okay. So this is my gold layer, but I did not use it in my pipeline because I was planning to something like, because as I used for bronze and silver layer, I used notebooks. So I plan to use like, why not go with the views? So over here, so these are my views. You can do new query, then create an alter. Yeah. So this is for each table. So after silver, I created gold layer using the views as you can see in my screen. So it is like read only delta table. So but also supports like views, functions, procedures. So the choice of the views as they let me keep reusable business logic and SQL without duplicating the data. So once the gold views were ready, I created a semantic model. So I'll just show you for every, not every, we can just, okay. And from here, we created the semantic model, which was then so I would say in Fabric, semantic models is the analytical layer used by Power BI. But if you change something in any of the layers, so then you might have to recreate the semantic model from here again, because those changes you might not see in the reports. So let's go to reports. So I created like report pages such as the overview, branch performance, customer insights, churn insights. So this this whole page you can see in the screen. So uh, it gives an overall summary like of the portfolio. It shows the total loan, deposit balances, and it is comparing the like them across the states, customer segments, risk bands. It helps to identify where the largest concentration would be. You can see like the largest concentration of balance exists now. So over here, this page gives a customer level view of the business. It compares customer segments, wristbands, deposit balances, loan balances, average digital engagement. It helps shows like which segments would contribute the most value and how the customer base is distributed. And also in the branch performance, I wanted to show you like for different branch name, what was the average transaction size across the regions. It helps to identify what was the busiest branch and the longest performing regions. Now, coming to churn insights. So, this page shows the churn risk profile of the customer base. It compares customers across churn risk bands, predicted churn bands, and average churn probability. So, like inactivity and satisfaction, it helps to identify the segments that may require retention action. So, like suppose if they are not interested, so how we can pull them in. So now coming to from where I got the churn insight, because what I did not use the churn table like the silver to move into the gold. I use the modeling part. I'll show you over here. Yeah. So I added churn modeling notebook. Here I used PySpark notebook and trained a churn model from the silver churn table. So from the silver, I'm directly taking to my churn modeling. So the logistic regression model used customer level churn features like days since the last transaction happened, or the product count, the transaction activity, or ticket activity, what was the delinquency or the satisfaction balances, or digital engagement. So then it was produced like the churn scores and churn bands. So these are the columns which I was talking about. Then I'm training the model. So I'm using the logistic regression. So over here you can see that I got a good score, and so this whole uh, model, I'm turning it into a table, and then I have loaded it, which I am further using it as a gold layer in my Power BI report. So if you go over here, so you can see only one gold layer because the rest of them are views. This is the churn one. Yeah. So after scoring, I wrote the churn model output back into the lakehouse as a table, and then expose it again through a gold reporting view. So the clean architecture was like silver tables for modeling input, and then gold scored view for reporting output. So after the notebooks and reporting, I built up Fabric pipeline. So from the item again, you can choose a new pipeline, and you can see this pipeline. So as it is still, oh, it has completed. So now I can say pipelines are the orchestration layer in Fabric. These are used to chain activities or schedule the runs and manage success and failure paths. The workflow was like, as you can see, the bronze notebook, then silver notebook, then churn model, and then I'm putting that into semantic model refresh, and then uh, archiving the notebook. So if you will ask where is the Power BI report and stuff, so it is from the semantic model refresh. It will automatically report it out everything on live basis. So over here, initially, yeah. So over here, you can schedule it. I did not I tried one schedule, but I did not start it yet. So over here, you can put your email address. So if it fails or if it is successful, you will get whatever is the whole process. Like if it fails or if it is successful. Now, so you can also select the time over there as well. So if it is daily or if it is monthly, at what time will it run? Now, also I wanted to share uh, in place of pipeline, I could have also considered data flow, but I did not choose it for the main project logic. So for success and failure handling in the pipeline, I connected the notebooks through the success paths, which you can see. But so if bronze succeeds, then it goes to silver, then churn model, then semantic model, and then refresh runs. So I chose only one shared field activity, which is this one, because in place of separate ones, as we can still identify the failed notebooks from the run history. If it is failing, so you can go into the run history and you can see that what part of the whole pipeline failed. Now coming to the archive part, so I wanted the source file to move from inbound to archive after processing, and for that we have another notebook. I'll just share you. It is just a few lines code. It is a few lines code, but in place of that, I would have used like at first I tried copy plus delete. So you can always go to the activities and then you can search over here. You can copy, you can delete. So initially I thought that it is simple, but so copy worked out, but delete did not. So because delete needed like required extra logging storage configuration, so I chose more simpler and sensible solution. But if you are in an organization, you can use this. And so finally, I showed you that you can schedule it on daily, weekly basis. So the final architecture was using raw files landing in Lakehouse files, then bronze notebooks creating new structured bronze tables from silver notebooks. You are moving to silver tables, then using gold SQL views, exposing them to the business reporting. So using the semantic model, you are doing the Power BI report, then doing the churn model using silver and returning output as gold table for churn. Then the final one is the pipeline orchestration and schedule. So that is the full process. Now, so I'll show you the final output. Yeah. So as this whole pipeline is completed, I'll show you that as it is a success. So just refresh it, and then you see nothing in inbound because the whole pipeline was a success and everything moved to the archive folder. So yeah, I could have like I felt notebooks gave me a better control for parsing, machine learning, and delete activity. Also, I wanted to say this project demonstrate an end-to-end solution for like using Lakehouse, notebooks, SQL views, modeling, reporting, and pipeline orchestration. So I hope it was really helpful for you guys, or it was a great learning for me as well. So thank you for watching till the end. I hope this walkthrough gave you a clear understanding of how I build this end-to-end Microsoft Fabric project. Yeah, thank you so much.